rebuilding of the tabernacle. And this has been a focus of mine for the last 2 weeks. And anybody who watches my videos will know it's an absolute focus. I mean, I've talked about these are the materials we're allowed to bring for it. It doesn't, we would have to have it because it takes some time to build a temple. The Messiah's coming back. He's got to have a place to do things. So we have to have a tabernacle. It only fits. And then I found the verse today that just locked it in, and there's no dispute now. While I'm also talking about the other, the only thing I think that we don't rebuild is the Ark of the Covenant. And the word the Ark should have been the greatest clue there. What is an ark? An ark is a thing to bring you through a period of time. For Noah, the ark, he didn't call it a ship, he called it an ark. I'm going to destroy things right now, and this is the thing that allows you to come through it, and I'm going to rebuild. So that's the ark. It protects things while something is being destroyed so it can be rebuilt. The Ark of the Covenant, it held the items in there. The covenant is there. And we went through a period of time, realistically, from Solomon, shortly after Solomon, until coming up very soon in the future, very near future, where things were getting destroyed. And he's going to rebuild things. And so that ark held the covenant to walk it through that period of time. Realistically, we're about 3,000 years, well, at least, I'll say about 3,000 years. That ark has actually walked them through that period of time. Now, that being said, what is the verse? Well, believe it or not, it's in Acts 15, the reference to it, but it goes back to Amos 9. Now, Amos 9 was deleted in our current Bible, this particular phrase in it, okay? And so we go to Amos 9 and we start looking at verse verse 11 in Amos 9. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David. So we're completely clear, because remember, David didn't have a temple. He only had a tabernacle. In that day I will rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and I will rebuild the ruins of it, and will set up the parts thereof that are broken down, and will build it up as in the ancient days. And the remnant of men and all the Gentiles of whom my name is called, the remnant coming out, the 10 lost tribes coming back, may earnestly seek, saith the Lord who does all these things. Now what we have in Acts 15, where again, this is the Council of Nicaea. And one of the things I want to pull up here is right after they go through this thing in verse 16. And this is where they're quoting the Greek Septuagint, but that's been deleted in our current Bible, of this Amos 9. After this, I will return and rebuild David's fallen tent. Its ruins I will rebuild, and I will restore it. What's interesting there is when you pull up the actual word there, it can't be anything else. The word is skenin. It's a tent or a booth. Again, when it comes to David, we can't really have anything else anyway, because David never had a temple. Solomon had the temple. So this made it extremely clear of what he's going to have rebuilt. So again, we get back to, wow, we need to start kind of getting ready, because certain things are able to be brought to build the temple. And what a special thing, to actually have a part in that. Now, I think realistically, probably every single person in the camp will probably have some small part to play in that. We know the warrior men are donating the silver. Not donating, it's a required payment. It's a half a shekel per warrior man. That's a pure requirement. Not more, not less. And I had a dream about that last night as well, interestingly enough. But everybody's allowed to donate to, whether it's copper or bronze, and I believe it's probably going to be copper. Again, we really don't have a good indication of which one it is. All I can tell you, this is what I believe it would be copper. Bring a couple pennies, and old pennies, not the new ones which are mostly zinc and just covered with copper, but bring some old copper, some old pennies, and just let's melt these things down. It doesn't take much. If all of us bring 2 pennies, we've got more than enough. And that's just warrior men, okay? So if a couple people have pennies, and again, how do you not have a couple pennies lying around? And for the women, and those people who are not involved, jewelry, a few earrings here or there. Again, I don't think he's going to let you do much, because I think he's going to let everybody do a contribution to building the tabernacle, because everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to say, here's some gold, here's some gold. And it just doesn't take much. I mean, it's really a small amount when you're talking about a large number of people. Most of that's going to be refining. And I've been really studying that, and I'll probably do a video after this about refining, because it looks like we're supposed to refine it only using fire and not the chemical process they use nowadays. But I've got to do the full study on that. But that's just where I think it's going with some things I've seen in Psalms and things, that he wants it done by fire. Maybe the chemicals leave something. Again, he's going to determine how he wants it done. I'll never be the one doing the refining process, so it's not really a study that will matter to me. But I find it incredibly interesting.